There we go. All right, I think we're all set up. How's everybody doing tonight? So I've got this monstrosity I'm working on. And what it is a Ringception jelly cube. Ringception is the idea where you take these small rings and turn them into larger rings. And then you take the larger rings and you weave them together. Did I make your wife's ring? I don't think so. I've made very few rings. Where did you get the ring from? How you doing, Daniel? You're very welcome. What is going on here? What did I just do? Yeah, that has... Okay. Hey, hello, how you doing? You want to see this cube? They're fun. Oh, wow. Okay. Something in my eye. That's awesome. Probably metal. Thank you for the follow. The man you got the free ring was from Utah. Interesting. I haven't been to Utah in a long time. Last time I was there, I think it was for... No, I drove through recently. I drove through Logan, Utah. Is there a university in Logan? Drove through a college town. Came from Yellowstone. So the Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, accidentally drove through there. Came out into Utah through Logan. I think it was Logan, Utah, and then drove north up to Idaho. 1,000-pound pole neodymium magnet for metal removal? Yeah. If it had been lodged in my eye, I would be much more concerned. But could have been an eyelash, for all I know. He said it would take 3 to 4 days, and you got nothing, huh? I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, that was the time before that when I was in Utah. I was at the Winter Olympics in Park City, going to try and see events, and we didn't really do much. We drove down, and then we drove back up to Idaho. Hey Astrid, how you doing? Not here. Yeah, by all means, Astrid makes good jelly cubes. All right. So for anyone just joining us, my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. Like, this is a beta product, but a little dog hoodie, right? And I've got to fix the sleeves and the bottom edge, and then I'll put it up in the store eventually. But we have clothing for humans too, right? So, and hooded blankets and all kinds of other fun stuff. So that's my bread and butter. And then I also happen to make chainmail on top of that. So, how's everyone's day? I spent today cleaning rings and getting, what do you call it? Getting everything organized for this cube, right? This is a cube, right? And this is also going to be a cube. Hey Ron, how you doing? You'd love one of those for your cat? Well, I will get them up probably the next time I do a computer day. I haven't had one of those in a while. The last time I had to get on my computer to do anything, I had to deal with Google and Apple at the same time. And if you go to the link in my link tree and try and download the MailWorks app from the Google Play Store, I think it's still there, but it might disappear here in a little bit if I don't get on there and go and fill out their paperwork correctly. So, you helped open a comic shop this weekend? Right on. Doing good, you're just procrastinating? Yeah, Google, they'll delist it, and then when I fix everything, they'll relist it. So if it's not there right now, I just got to go in and do some stuff on the back end. But it's dumb stuff, right? It's safety questions for data and how it's handled between me and third-party companies like Amazon Web Services and Cloudflare, because those are the only other companies that are involved. And so once I go and answer their questions correctly, they'll relist it. But it's just annoying. So it might not be there. It probably still is for right now. I haven't got an email saying it was delisted. You got homework but need to do laundry? Nice. Ow. What kind of homework are you doing, Ron? What are you studying? All right. That's true. There are no cubes. Oh no. I'm sure that's just a technical thing. But yeah. All right. You're majoring in math, you skipped trig in high school, so now I'm going back and learning it. Fun. I got all the way up to calculus in college. I got out of the military. I was like, I'm going to go be a mechanical engineer. And then I realized at the school that I was going to, you don't go to that school to become an engineer of any kind whatsoever. They just kind of had this haphazard, slapped together engineering program. And so I was like, screw this, let me go. I was an LPN at the time, and I had basically just done all the, what do you call them? Not the humanities, all your basic courses for 2 years, as well as some engineering classes, like intro to basic engineering and SolidWorks and stuff like that. And I was like, no, this isn't working for me. So let me go and finish my nursing degree. And that turned out to be the wiser of the two decisions. I think. I don't know. Maybe I could have been a mechanical engineer. You finish differential equations. Right on. General education requirements. Very good, very good. Living with terminal... Oh, living with terminal cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. Had a friend that you'd make chainmail back in the day. Made some amazing things. Right on. I love chainmail because you can make amazing things with it. Once you get the basics down, get a couple of concepts under your belt, the world is your oyster when it comes to this stuff. It's like any hobby, right? There's a way to make everything. But there's no instructions for everything, or there are not instructions for everything. So a lot of time you are figuring stuff out. Gives you the creative freedom. Like, okay, let me put it this way, right? You know how there are people who can paint and draw really good, and they can paint and draw whatever they want, and they make it seem easy, right? Yeah. Like, that's where I feel I'm at with this craft, right? I may not really be there, but I feel like I'm okay at this point, right? And so I feel like I could pretty much make anything I wanted within reason, right? Like this project, if I wanted, this is going to be a 3x3x3 ring jelly cube. It just means that it's got 3 layers to it, roughly. Okay? If I wanted to take this out to, say, a 5x5, or a 5x5x5 ring cube, that's several hundred rings at that point, and I would be making these rings for a very long time. So I'm gonna make this Ringception cube, and maybe I will expand on it later, but for right now we're just going for a 3x3, and then all right. And that is 95 rings. The weave I am making the rings out of is called sandworm. Right? And what it is this cool little weave where you take a full Persian chain and you put box around it, kind of. Right? Like, each unit of box doesn't connect to the next one. It just connects to that one unit of full Persian. Does that make sense, kind of? Is that clear as mud? So you see where the outer box layer connects there? It's only connected to the full Persian underneath, right? Yeah, it's under B8FP or Sandworm, WYRM, I think, on Male Artisans. And all they have is a picture. I don't know of a tutorial. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. But there may be a tutorial out there somewhere. It's a cool little weave. I had misremembered. I made some keychains out of this a while ago because I didn't know. I had a bunch of these rings and I didn't know what to do with them, so I was just kind of experimenting. And I remembered the keychains being much more rigid, and so I was hoping that rigidity would give me these wide arcing rings with a really big diameter, right? Because I was going to use them for dragon scale, right? I was going to make a dragon scale ringception piece for the dragon scale pine cone, right? It's a cool little chainmail sculpture. But these are much smaller than I had anticipated when folded into a ring shape, so I got to figure out a different weave for the dragon scale. I'm thinking captive inverted round, which is this for anyone watching over here, right? That's called inverted round. When you put rings in between inside the chain, that's called captive inverted round. And I might try that for the dragon scale pine cone. I don't know. I'll get to it eventually. I don't need another large project right now. I have this cube, I have the Finnegan's Wake flag, and I've got my saddlebag, and I need to get all of those done. So it's going to be 64 tomorrow, and I had no intention of riding for another 2 weeks, right? But I got my registration in the mail, and that should be getting here pretty soon. My new sticker. So it's time to go ride. So I want to get that saddlebag done, because saddlebags covered in chainmail are awesome. And I want to go and ride around and show everyone how cool I am. No, all the projects, yeah. All the projects, all the time. Every day, all day. It would help if I would not run out of rings. I need to write like the chainmailer's prayer. May your pliers always be grippy. May you never run out of rings. And if you do, may they be in stock and on sale. Yeah, it's gonna be a nice it's gonna be nice this week. Yeah, right on. I mean, most of the days it says it's gonna rain, so I'm not real worried about tomorrow. But good weather is coming. The opposite of winter is coming. Good weather is coming. So I need to be ready for it, because I want to get that bike out. She needs to be ridden. The only thing, though, one thing I am concerned about, is I have to find a way to lock the saddlebag onto the bike. So I'm going to have to change up how the saddlebag's attached to the frame of the motorcycle, because I do not the outside of the saddlebags don't lock. They're just some buckle. There's just buckle clasps, or just buckles holding it shut. So someone could open it up, detach it from the bike. So I want to go out riding, and I want to be able to leave it parked somewhere and have the saddlebags secure. So I've got to go talk to my local motorcycle shop, see what they can do for me. You could take your old man cat to the vet tomorrow. He stopped eating solid foods. Oh no, that's no good. Yeah, got to take care of your pets. I've realized with this new puppy that I'm not a pet person. I'm not a puppy person. They're cute from afar. They're cute when they're someone else's. That's a lot of weight for a little cat to be losing. I hope the vet can take care of him. But yeah, this corgi puppy that arrived at my house. A dog is basically a small car investment. Yeah. He's potty trained. He knows to go to the bathroom outside. Doesn't care. Chewed up my carpet in 3 different spots. He doesn't care about that either. And he got my wood floor. Chewed up part of my wood floor. And I wanted to scream. I didn't kick him out. I was upset, but, you know, at the end of the day, my kid has a dog to grow up with, and all of that stuff is replaceable, right? That's what I keep telling myself. How old is your cat, Astrid? Like, is it... You say old man cat. I'm assuming it's not a youthful cat. Alright. And cats live a long time, too. The last time we had cats, they were outside cats down in Texas that appeared under our deck. And 13, almost 14. That's still pretty young for a cat. I hope the vet can do something, because that seems out of place. When our big dog died, our little dog didn't want to eat solid food anymore. We've got like a street dog from San Antonio named Baxter. And he's very much like a cat. He does not get along well with the corgi at all. So, and he's quite the old man dog. He's about 12, 13, something like that. He's getting up there. But when our big dog died, he didn't want to eat solid foods. Like, that's all we'd ever fed the dogs was kibble. So we had to start spoiling him. And we'd give him a mixture of wet food and dry food. Just so he'd eat. And now that we got the corgi, right? This dog that hasn't acted like a dog in forever, doesn't want to be pet, doesn't want to be picked up, just kind of goes off and hangs out by himself. Anytime you're petting the corgi or giving the corgi attention, he's right there ready for his attention. It was too funny when I first noticed it happening. And he's also a turd. Every time I sit down to eat at the table, or if I go upstairs and I go like eat lunch and then take a nap, right? I got a chair upstairs I'll take a nap on. I'll go sit down in the chair, and this dog will come downstairs from wherever he was lounging the instant I sit down, and I've got my little blankie on me, and I've got my little water sounds going, you know, on the phone, the little waterfall sounds you fall asleep to, the frying bacon, whatever it is. And I'll be ready to just take a nice little snooze after a nap. Next thing I know, I got this little chihuahua looking at me, huffing, just boofing, you know, ready to go outside. Rotten ass dog. All right. Well, I hope your cat does okay. I really do. I'm not a cat person, but I do understand concern about your pets. He's a large cat. Dad was a Russian blue. Right on. Does he look like one of those Maine Coon big old cat thingies? He's 12 inches at the shoulder and about 28 inches long. Jesus. It's a goddamn puma. That's a pretty big cat. He's all black. Right on. Yeah. Yeah, we had some tabby cats down in Texas that the mama cat either had her kittens under the deck on the back of our house or brought them under the deck, and they got fed, and they weren't tame by any stretch of the imagination, but they were, you could pet them, you could pick them up for a few minutes before they went feral. So, and we didn't have any snake problems. Our dog got bit, big dog got bit by a rattlesnake in the backyard. But after the cats moved in, we did not have any further snake problems. You only know his parents because your granddad feed the local cat population to raise the kittens? Oh, right on. Is that what you're looking for? I was in Yeetus's stream earlier today. I was trying to participate, but I was like cooking dinner or cooking breakfast and cooking laundry and too much family stuff going on. I didn't get to hang out much. That was my excitement earlier today. You got him because through your granddad? That's cool. My grandma, may she live forever, is half blind, half deaf, 95-year-old, type 2 diabetic, brittle diabetic, most compliant diabetic I've ever met in my life. And I'm an RN. I've met a lot. And my whole life she fed a bunch of feral cats outside her back door every night. It's been dubbed Bob by LOLH10, LOL10. I don't know if you can pronounce that, but by LOL. So, you can call it whatever you want. I call it a grind. That's all the only name I've got for it now. Did I finish the Finnegan's Wake mail? No, I've got rings on the way. I ran out of black rings that I need to outline everything. And then I ordered some more green. And I've got enough silver and gold to finish it. So that's on my... It's now at a point where I feel like I can finish it. Right? So that's a big change from most of where I've spent the last 2 decades. Just looking at it, thinking I wasn't good enough to do it. Right? So, and done is better than perfect on this, on that particular project. Johnny Danger, how you doing? So, it may not be perfect when it's done, but as long as I can hang it up and it doesn't look like total garbage and all the pieces are in the right place, I'm calling it done and I'm moving on with my life. And I will never not do prep work for a large project ever again. Until I pick up a random pile of rings in my basement and go, oh, I can make something with that. All right, we are almost at a 2x2. What, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more rings and it'll be a completed 2x2 cube. You're fine just flipping through TikTok? Right on. So that's the bottom. And I just had this like all there. This is the top so far. And we've got to continue to go around this edge here. So, what about my logo project? My logo project. Oh, hang on. I'll show you how that turned out. So if you look up there, that's my logo, and then this is the chainmail version of it. But I think this ring, these two rings in here are too small, causing it to bunch up, right? And so I might try replacing them. These two craft rings in here. So, like, it's done. But if I go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby and find a, what is this? How big of a craft ring is this? A 2-inch craft ring. If I find a 2.5-inch craft ring, maybe even a 3, I might take this outside full Persian chain off and replace these rings on the inside, because there was still quite a little bit of flex in it when I tied it down. Hey, Erat, how you doing? So this is done for now. This is the third iteration of this being done. I should just leave it alone, but Johnny, I am making, okay, so this is a cube, a jelly cube, right? This has a lot of rings, individual rings, all woven one by one. And what I'm doing here is I'm making a cube, right? But I'm using the small rings to make large rings. So I'm making a Ringception jelly cube. And I'm going to make it a 3x3x3. And I've got 79 rings to go. You got some not so nice news today, but you're continuing to work on your scale mail? Well, that's no good. But good on you for continuing the scale mail. Would Tandy Leather have that size of ring? They might, but Tandy, the periodic protagonist, the hell did you come in on? Protogen. The periodic protogen. What is a protogen? We're making chainmail. Yeah, awesome stuff. That's right. Tandy may have a 2.5-inch or 3-inch ring, I'm sure. But Tandy is 45 minutes away from me, and Michael's and Hobby Lobby are 10 minutes away. Excuse me. So I'll start there first, and if they don't have it, then I've got to go to the Tandy Leather store anyway. And it's a good motorcycle trip. And the last time I was there, I was telling the ladies there about my chainmail saddlebags, and they thought, oh, that's really cool. So if I go back up there again, I would love to show them. That's the biggest red Solo cup you've ever seen. So my mom came to my house and did not like my cups before she passed away. This is many years ago. And so she went out to like CVS or Walgreens or something and came home with a giant green Solo cup. And then she left it at my house. And it's a great cup, right? And after using it for a few years, it finally got a crack in it. And I had to throw it away because it had like liquid on the inside. And so I went searching. The cup lasted until after my mom passed. And so when the cup broke, I went searching for a new one. And I couldn't find a green one. So I found a 4-pack of red Solo cups. You can answer that question about what a protogen is. It's a fictional species. It's all you can explain. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So you got an 8-pack of those at Costco with lids and straws? Yeah, there you go. They're great. All right. Let's get a new ring started. What time is it? 9:50. We can get a good chunk of this done. It is Sunday night, so do have school tomorrow. Not for me, for my kid. It's time for me to get a watch. Ha 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 ha. I'd get a watch if I could tell time. I went to a private school growing up. And then I switched to public school later on in life. But for the longest time, I could not read an analog clock. Took me years to figure it out. Now I got it down pat, because it's being in the military, that's all you have. Until cell phones became mainstream. Do you like this? Chainmail? It's fun. Just chilling and making stuff and hanging out with people. You just open rings and close them and weave them together in between the opening and the closing. And eventually, if you do it enough times, you'll get somewhere. Before you know it, you will have completed a project. It's pretty nuts. Chainmail and chillin'. Speaking of chainmail and chillin', I got the text for my next t-shirt design, and I'm not going to share it, but I got the text finalized. So on my next break from chainmail, when I do design work and all my computer work, I will hopefully get that new design up. You might try it someday. If you are interested in getting started, there is a link in the link tree in my bio for the Mailworks app. It's an app I designed for people who want to get into the hobby, and for veteran chainmail artists, and for people who are just interested in chainmail in general. And it's got all the resources I would have wanted when I first started making chainmail a really long time ago. Before Google, before YouTube. And it's got stuff like where to find tutorials, where to find suppliers, where to find groups where chainmail artists hang out online, and a bunch of other stuff. It's free to download, and it's a great place to start. Not to toot my own horn, but I think it's kind of cool. All right. Come on, there we go. So there's that, and then if you do get started, my recommendation is to start with something like a, what's the word I'm looking for? A kit, right? So a bunch of the suppliers sell kits. You can purchase one Byzantine bracelet kit, right? And you'll get the rings and the instructions on how to make it. And that's a great place to start. As opposed to going and figuring out what ring size you need, or just ordering random ring sizes, which is how I ended up doing what I'm doing right now. I don't recommend it, right? So there is also the option of a larger kit And you can get pliers with it as well from Chainmail Joe. They have a big beginner kit. They have a bright aluminum kit, and I think they have an anodized aluminum kit. I don't know. I keep meaning to go and check. These are all stainless steel. But the Chainmail Joe kit comes in a beautiful box with a tutorial booklet. The pliers are optional, and then the rings are all the rings you would need for whatever weaves they have in the tutorial booklet. So I want to get it for myself, not because I need the tutorial booklet or the rings or the pliers. I want to get it because it's a beautiful box, and it's a, like, actually, I want to get it just so I can go, hey, here, look at this pretty box. That's why I should get it. I should absolutely do that. You're welcome for the tips. Dang, I have some hand strength. Yeah, I mean, you develop it over time. I'm not, like, I don't have the, okay, my father-in-law had some big old meat hooks, right? And when I shook his hand, like, it would just crush my hand. He was a machinist, okay? And so, like, I have some good grip strength, but, like, nothing like that. Thank you for sharing the live stream. I appreciate it. If you like and share, it puts me out on the For You page and gets me in front of people, and it helps out. It helps my goal of spreading the good word of chainmail throughout the land, to show people that it's the coolest thing since sliced bread. Reminds you to work out? Yeah. No, I'm well versed in how to work with rings, but if I tried, I probably couldn't hold on enough to do a pull-up, right? Like, I have relatively small hands and wrists, and I'm not... You almost broke your husband's hand during labor because of your grip from chainmail? Nice. Yeah, no, I probably couldn't hold on to a bar to do a pull-up without several days rest from chainmail. Seeing as Betty White was the coolest thing before sliced bread, would that mean you were saying chainmail is as cool as Betty White? My cousin Betty White, the famous, didn't quite make it to 100. Betty White, yeah. May she rest in R.I.P. Betty White. No, I don't think chainmail is cooler. Well, maybe. I'm not going to answer that. Betty White's pretty legit. It's hard to beat Golden Girls. No, it's... The point of my story is that working with rings does take some hand strength, but really it's something that's just developed over time. And as long as you avoid injury and use the right tools, you can do a lot. Thank you for the roses. Appreciate you. You can do 10 push-ups and squats and a 1-minute plank, then you feel like a noodle. Yeah. That's probably where I'd be right now if I tried to do anything. I've got 2 dislocated vertebrae in my neck, and so that makes it hard for me to do anything, any exercise, because I got discs out of place, I got vertebrae out of place, I got a pinched nerve back there that is a chronic pinched nerve, and it's all from an injury that I had in the Army. So, like, my ability to do pull-ups or push-ups or anything like that is severely limited. It's coming along. It's something, you know? Only 80 more rings to make. That's cool looking? I think so. I think it's cool. Right? Like, it's just an exploded version of this. Right? That's all it is. Made with enormous rings made from rings. So, and for some reason, I have a large number of 16 gauge 3H rings, and I was like, oh, I could do this with them. And then I thought that it was a good idea. And then I thought that, oh, it's a really good idea to have another, multi-thousand ring projects laying around to work on. Ripped a piece of Daco's tentacles off. To make the cube. I ripped a piece of Doc Ock's tentacles to make the ring for the key. Is that what you're saying? Ringception. You got to run. You're doing Magic Kingdom in the AM. Got to rest. Hopefully see you Saturday. Johnny, have a good one. Enjoy Magic Kingdom. Get some good sleep. I don't know if I've ever been to the Magic Kingdom. I've been to Disneyland in California when I was really little. You can't sleep? I'm sorry. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's how I got all the materials to make the rings. Fought Doc Octopus. Fought Doc Ock and won. It does. It looks like suction cups, right? Like one of the Matrix machines coming down. One of their tentacles. One of the droid tentacle things. Maybe it will be less popular because of the eclipse. Magic Kingdom? Maybe. That is tomorrow, right? The apocalypse with all the weird stuff surrounding it. There's going to be weird stuff happening. Maybe even an early stage creation of those droids in Big Hero 6. There you go. There's going to be weird stuff happening for two reasons. One, because there's an eclipse and weird stuff is happening like earthquakes and stuff like that. Then just the huge number of people congregating in certain areas is going to ensure that things happen. Right? And then thirdly, things are going to happen that are weird because people manifest their own weird things, right? They're like, oh, this is weird, this is weird. This weird thing's going to happen. And then next thing you know, it happens. So I will go outside for a little bit. I'll check out the eclipse and then I'll come back downstairs. I don't plan on doing too much. We're only going to see the partial eclipse from here. You got family in Central Arkansas. It's already crazy down there. I believe it. Traffic is terrible. Optometrists and the like have scheduling wide open for the soon to be blind. Yeah. Yerp. Someone said something along the lines of there are kids today that have perfect vision that won't have perfect vision on Tuesday. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, there's going to be an eclipse on Monday. I'm assuming you're being facetious. It's like the end times are coming. The apocalypse is upon us. Oh. No, the eclipse is tomorrow. Unless we're talking about Mitsubishi eclipses. Saw the last one a few years ago. Had a powerhouse welding mask to use for it. Right on. I think the gas station that I go to all the time has little glasses for it. It's Monday for you. Like it's Monday for you right now because you're going to be up all night because you can't sleep. Thought the draining of color all around was cooler. Like everything gets muted. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I used to work night shift. I know how that feels. You'd go to work on Friday night and it'd be your Saturday already. Saturday night's your Sunday. I worked nights while I was in Texas, and it was never really a problem, but one time I tried to buy beer before noon on a Sunday, like it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I went to the register at HEB, and I had some beer, and they sold me everything else, but they set the beer aside and said, oh, we can't sell you that until noon. And I had just gotten off a 12-hour night shift. I was furious. I wasn't that furious, right? I was like, all right, well, whatever. This is dumb. And then I went home and had trouble sleeping all day. Oh, okay. The eclipse will be going down through the Americas, huh? I don't know. Someone was like, oh, it forms an X with the last time there was an eclipse. It's like, well, yeah, if we get eclipse in the northern hemisphere. All right, periodic proctogen. Have a good one. If we get an eclipse in the northern hemisphere, wherever, like the next eclipse is going to cross it somewhere. You were working during the last one. They almost tried to have you work through it. That's kind of crappy of them. It's like, just go outside. You've got school during it? Hey, the world might end. You could skip school if the world might end. Like, enough people complained and you were able to watch it. Like, I am going to go outside and I'm going to look at it for like 2 minutes. So, I don't know. I'm not going to watch the full 2 hours of it. So that's an eclipse. It's cool. Total solar eclipse or lunar eclipse or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not an astronomist or an astrologist. I live in my basement and don't go outside. I don't look at the sky. But I'll make an exception for an eclipse, right? They won't let you see it because it's a safety concern. They don't want kids blinding themselves. Yeah. I mean, I get it, but, like, that's what the glasses are for. Or the little cardboard cutouts where you can observe the shadow. It was a warehouse job for Hallmark. People would be fine if we don't pack boxes for 20 minutes. Yeah. The boxes would be fine with you going out and looking at the eclipse. That's weird. Was someone power tripping? Like, no, you can't look at the eclipse because you're just a warehouse worker and I'm the warehouse manager. You're going to do as you're told and move those boxes. And Sounds like that. Yeah, okay. Thought they were canceling school for him. They haven't canceled my kid's school. They got glasses for all the kids and everything. So they're going to go out there and they got their little cardboard cutout things to look at the shadow and whatnot. So oh, in the direct path, they might be canceling school just because of the sheer number of people that are going to be down there. It's like it's better if kids just stay home, you know, than deal with all the hubbub. Someone, one of the motorcycle guys I follow on TikTok was saying, it's like, if you're going to go view the eclipse, don't go to Ohio, right? Because Ohio weather is not going to comply with your ability to view the eclipse. It's just going to be cloudy wherever you are that whole day, and you're not going to see anything. That's like, yeah, that's probably right. Every county around you guys has 90%. Every county around you has canceled school or has not canceled school. Is that what we're asking? Where are we at? 9:30? All right. Chugging right along here. Oh, every county around you guys is closed school. Yeah. That's probably safer, right? Because like I said, people are going to manifest weird things happening. It's just, you know, the nature of humans in large groups. Especially when strange phenomena in the sky are involved. You know, like, the world's a little bit chaotic right now, and with a solar eclipse, or an eclipse coming. Is it a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse? It's a lunar eclipse because the moon is passing in front of the sun, right? I'm not an astrographer. Yeah, you have a big risk of being blinded because of the 90% totality? Yeah. Yeah. Just, you know, wear safety glasses and don't stare at it. I think is the thing. Could you imagine, like, seeing eclipse thousands of years ago and you're just, like, staring at it and you were fine one day and the next day you can't see? That's, you know, that probably tripped some people out, and just mass blinding events from eclipses. It's like, when did humanity figure out that we shouldn't look at the sun during an eclipse? All right, solar because the sun being blocked. Okay, lunar is the one when the moon is blocked by the earth. Okay. The last time I discussed anything about planets or the stars or the universe or anything like that was when my kid was going through it in his science class at school. That's, other than that, I did try and set up I wanted to take the family out to a meteor shower viewing. And apparently, like, the best time to do it is in January. And the place to view, like, the best place to view is several hours away. So you drive out there, and then it's the middle of the night, and you go stare up at the sky in some open field, and it's pitch black. But, you know, you should really be able to see all the stars because there's no light pollution out there or anything. And you should be able to see a lot of meteors, right? So I was trying to set that up, but it's in January, and January is freezing cold up here. And while I am motivated to take my son and the rest, wife and all that out to stuff like that, like if it's not above 45 degrees, I'm really not willing to go outside. So like I love them, but that's just, that experience might not be in the cards for us. When people went blind from it, yeah. Or we didn't until more recently because they don't happen that often, yeah. And more recently being the last 300 years. Well, it's just like, I'm sure someone was like, oh, I stared at the sun yesterday and now I'm blind, right? But like, the eclipse only covers some of the Earth, so how long until it was common knowledge worldwide? Probably not that long ago. My point is, I think a lot of people went blind from it. That would suck. Anyway, how far along am I on this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay. The Perseids meteor shower is a good one. It's usually in August. That would be an ideal time to go out in the middle of nowhere and look up at the sky. August in Wisconsin is pretty beautiful. As long as it's not too humid. It's usually about 75, 80 degrees with a slight breeze. I'll have to see if there's a good place to view that from. Because my father, back when I was a young boy, around my son's age, packed 6 kids up in the car, me and my siblings and my 2 stepsisters, and drug us all over the western half of the United States, right? I've been to every rock formation west of the Mississippi. Okay, Bryce, Zion, Arches, Grand Canyon, Petrified Forests, Carlsbad Caverns. Okay, what's the Mesa Verde National Park with the cliff dwellings, right? The Badlands. I've seen it. I've seen it all. And of course, I was young and I didn't appreciate it at the time. But as I've grown older and gone back and seen a few of these things or caught them in movies or whatever, it's just like, holy crap, I was there. During one of those trips, we were out in the middle of nowhere. I think we were in like Arizona. We went out into the field and it was all dark outside and we watched meteors come in for a few hours and I was very little. You've been to Garden of the Gods? Right on. No, I mean, I didn't. I was on vacation. I was having fun as a kid, but like hot and dusty, and there were rocks to look at, and I appreciate it much more now as an adult. That my dad dragged me through all that stuff, and so my dad he loved being a dad, right? So he loved participating in our sports with us and taking us and just he took us mountain biking and whitewater rafting and skiing and we did it all. So I feel like I owe it to my kid to be as good of a dad as my dad was. And I'm not. But I try. I do try. We don't go on a lot of trips, but maybe this summer we'll go on some more. I did drive with my kid through Yellowstone, and he got to see the Grand Tetons, so that kind of counts, right? It was totally on accident. There's like 3 ways to get from Wisconsin to Idaho. And so I got lost. I was following Google Maps. I got lost. And instead of going from South Dakota to Boise over the north side of Yellowstone, or down around the southern side of Yellowstone, I went right through Yellowstone, saw the Grand Tetons, and had to make sure I didn't burn out my brakes going down the backside. The ring lord is out of the scales you ordered? Oh, I'm sorry. You hope you can start traveling with chainmail and get to that kind of stuff? Yeah, you got a little bit. Your kid's pretty small still, right? All right. But they'll get bigger before you know it, and next thing you know, they won't. That's the hardest part about being a parent is, like, you want your child to have independence, but the realization that they don't need you is just like, oh. My kid, he's not at the stage yet where he doesn't want anything to do with me. You know, that angsty teen stage? So I still get, I still get to spend a good amount of time with him. But he's getting there. I think I'm an okay dad. I you know, like anyone, I have my shortcomings, but they're out of everything, it feels like. Yeah. Are your kiddos 2.5? All right, he's older than I thought he was. My neighbor kid's 2.5. He's running around like crazy. Yeah, the Ring Lord. The Ring Lord. I just put in an order with him. Hopefully it comes through. I don't think there was any issues with it. Probably should ship out on Monday. My area of concern is that it does not look like they are restocking anything. And that it feels like, I can't say it for sure, but it feels like they are moving out of the retail space. And I don't know, like, I don't have any basis for this. I've seen nothing on the internet saying that that's the case. I'm just saying that when I go and I see what's on the website, I'm like, something's not right. Something's wrong. And it's either incompetence, or they are deliberately not restocking stuff. Or they could just be catching up. I don't know. But it feels like something's off. And that stuff that should have been restocked a long time ago is not being restocked. And I don't know what the case is, but it would not surprise me if they moved away from retail completely and just went with whatever government contracts they have. And Smokey Groff, how you doing? That unfortunate news was about how someone called family services on your parents. Oh no. So I'm doing a great job, thanks. They realize they are biting off more than they can chew, and the info of ring making AR wire gauge suppliers not like all walked with John. Really? That's interesting. So it's incompetence is what you're saying, John. I mean, that makes sense, I guess. It can't be that hard to figure out. I don't know. What do I know? They stopped selling the 18 gauge 1/8 for jelly cubes. Huh. Like, why don't they just turn around and ask the community? It was that when it was first sold and they jumped off, then sold again. Now it's a third holder that changed the site and the like. I'm not big on, like, what do you call it? co-ops. Right? I'm not big on co-ops, but I feel like maybe the community should just buy the Ring Lord. I don't want to relocate it to. I don't want to relocate to Canada to try and run something like that, but I'm sure there's someone that could do it if knowledge or lack of knowledge is the issue. I don't know. Other things are being built in the light of the Ring Lord having challenges, so like it is what it is. But also, correction, they have 4 colors available for 1/8. Okay, well, I mean, maybe there's hope. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm just telling you, like, I look at what I see and hear. I keep my ear to the ground, and, you know, when you hear hoofbeats, you think horses, not zebras. So I hope that lack of capability is all that's holding them back, and that they can recover and become a competitor again. There's plenty of stuff that I'm perfectly satisfied with the Ring Lord rings that I have. I've had a lot of issues with them, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, the community has, you know, been more than capable of starting their own businesses, making supplies, and I think right now there's more suppliers of chainmail rings than ever. So I'm pretty happy about that. I think that's a good thing. Competition is a good thing. So let me scratch my lice. I'm just kidding. Beards itch. That's all. All right. But it would be cool if the problem was that they didn't know how to do something. That would be cool if the community just like put in a bunch of money and purchased the Ring Lord, and then it was a community like a Winco. I don't know of any other co-ops out there, but Winco Foods is a co-op that I grew up with in Idaho, in Boise, and it seemed to work. Got a buddy that works for him now, drives truck for him. And all the employees are like part owner. So I don't know exactly how all that's set up or anything, but that'd be interesting if the community took control of its own destiny. And all right. So here, that's 8, 5, 3, so that's 16, 79 left. This will make it 78 right here. And I think I have enough rings on hand in my coffee can O-rings here to make 28 rings total, which is more than what I need for a 2x2 cube. I only need 21 for this, so I think I ordered the right amount of rings for this random large project I decided to take on. I don't know. We'll find out. What's probably going to happen is I probably order too many, right? And it's like I had all these left over. Well, they weren't left over. I had this pile of rings, these 16 gauge 3/8 stainless steel rings, and I didn't know what to do with them. So I started making a jelly cube out of them, and then I needed more to make a 3x3 cube, and I probably ordered more than what I needed to the point where I'm going to end up finishing a 3x3 cube and then have a bunch of 16 gauge 3/8 rings left over. And then I will need to figure out something to do with them at that point. I'll probably just chuck them at the wall. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Big fan of jelly cubes. I like them. They're fun. I need to work on this one some more too. Ugh. Tripling the number of rings in this cube is going to be a grind. Getting it to 14 by 14 by 14 was rough. You wish they were a bit easier to make so you could have a bunch of them? Yeah. Jelly cubes are pretty amazing. I like them. Here's the thing, too, right? You think to yourself, oh, I made a jelly cube. It's cute. It's a cute little fidget toy. And then you keep building on it and building on it and building on it and working on it. And it, you know, you think, oh, eventually, right? There has to be a, what do you call it? Like an attrition rate on the return of enjoyability to how much you're working on it, right? But there's not. The bigger you get them, or the bigger you make them, the more fun they are. And yeah. Do I foresee 3D printer being able to make them one day, or do you like this process? 3D printers can make them. I've seen someone who made one. It wasn't great, and he had like a lot of tuning to do. So at some point, like just like those little 3D printed dragons that all the 3D printers make and sell, which are cool, you know, nothing wrong with 3D printing. Don't come at me. But just like that, so at some point, someone's going to start selling the file for fidget cubes. They'll perfect it, and people will make it in multiple colors, and I will absolutely purchase one. Someone had the 3D printed chainmail, and they made a dice bag out of it, and I offered them $500 for it. They're like, they said no. Which was good because I don't really have $500, but I was like, yeah, I want it. Here's a really good price for it. And they wouldn't make me one either. All they would do is sell me the file. I wanted to throw a brick at them. But it's their right. You know, I can't force them to sell it. So just like people have been offering me money for this cube, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to sell it, guys. Not right now, anyway. Maybe one day. Highly unlikely. Once I get it up to 20 by 20 by 20, making them is half the fun. As I find that as long... Okay. So I was bitching about starting another huge project while in the middle of multiple projects just a minute ago. But they are fun, and if they become a grind, you do need to work on something else. So it's good that I came up with another large project, and I have other projects to finish. So lots of stuff to work on. Can I wiggle the cube? Let's see here. Trying to. That's kind of as good as it gets. You're very welcome. The ones that make them in the submerged bath, the liquid will be able. Okay, where are we at here? The ones that make them in the submerged bath of the liquid will be able to make perfect jelly cubes and plastics and glow in the dark. You mean resin printers? Is that what you're talking about, John? Resin printing a 3D cube would be better than, what is it? Not resin printing? I don't know anything about 3D printing. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. But yeah, someone's gonna figure it out, fine tune it, make them in multiple colors. They'll be cool little fidget toys, and then next thing you know, everyone's gonna be selling them. And it just is what it is, right? The forward advancement of technology is not something you can prevent, right? As you know, unless you are the individual that knows, right? If you're the individual who knows how to prevent AI from ever reaching singularity, right? You should implement that, okay? But other than someone's always going to know how to do something, they're always going to figure out something. There's going to come a point where there's going to be a machine making chainmail with perfectly round rings that are seamless, right? And it will weave all the weaves that we hand make, because someone who makes chainmail is going to design that machine, and it's going to have like multiple wires going in of different materials, and you just press some buttons and it's going to spit something out. And it just is what it is, because someone's going to get bored enough and the profit margins are going to be high enough, and someone's going to do it, right? Hey, Steampunk Cat, how you doing? You can only find folks selling odd puzzle-shaped link mail and pre-made patches, none in that normal foreign one. You can only find folks selling odd puzzle-shaped link mail. Okay, I think I know what that is. And pre-made patches, none of that normal foreign one. Yeah, no, but I don't know if anybody who's making the 3D printed chainmail is selling this stuff. Pretty good. Just got a nice new bike, so you're happy? Like, bike is in motorcycle or bike is in bicycle? Either way, congratulations. Another reason I can't wait for it to warm up, aside from the fact that I get to take the motorcycle out, is that my kid wants to go ride his bicycle down at the park and go on the trail and ride miles and miles. You can see the resin ones working better. Right on. I don't disagree with that. You got a bicycle. Bicycles are great. 10 by 15, 15, 25, depending on plastic. Found a seller. All right. You found a seller for like regular 4-in-1 chainmail that's 3D printed. Is that what you're saying? Not someone who's selling a jelly cube. Because the only person I've seen do a jelly cube, like, it wasn't ready for mainstream manufacturing. But they'll get there eventually. Going to be honest, it's going to be quite a while before chainmail gets automated unless it's 3D printed. No, yeah, I mean, I don't think that it's going to happen tomorrow or anything, right? I definitely think there's some time between now and when you have a box on your desk with wires of different materials going into it and it's spitting out whatever weave you want. I think we're a ways away from that. Okay, but right now you can go and start chatting with ChatGPT and inputting some information about manufacturing models and start figuring it out, and someone could already be working on it, right? Like, who's using AI to develop new weaves right now, right? Who's saying, hey, ChatGPT, go look at Mail Artisans International League and start making tutorials for it. Correct. Already made sheet for a 4-in-1 for your pouch. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I don't like. It's kind of the same concept of how crochet is really difficult for machines. The most a machine could do was 4 chain stitches. Okay, but is that a is the reason there isn't a machine that can do good crochet because it can't be made? Or is it a profit margin issue of it would be too expensive to develop the machine to make it? Right? And it's just not worth it, and we'll just stick with a knitting machine. I guess that would be my first question, because I don't know. I don't crochet. I don't know anything about it. with the, I don't want to say with the releasing of AI. AI is still really nerfed right now as far as what its potential could be. So I think that someone's at some point is just going to go ask the question, how do I make a machine that spits out any chainmail weave I want? And, or a human could just design it, And I don't know, maybe that will never happen and maybe I'm wrong. These are just, the forward progress of technology is not something that as individuals we're going to be able to stop. So... it would be very difficult. The machine would be extremely expensive, even with all the demand. Give remember 4 rings easily, and there are only 23 possible structures, so every weave possible must start with one or more of these 23 structures. If you make all 23 structures, you'll be able to make any weave from looking at pictures. Well, there you go. I don't think it's a leap to say that at some point you're going to have spools of wire feeding into a box, and it's going to spit out whatever chainmail weave you want. And it, like I said, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but all right. And I'm not saying I'm right. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I don't think it's a stretch of the imagination to think that not only could it happen, but it will happen at some point. Fast fashion hates putting time and effort into long-lasting and nice products. I 100% agree with that. Okay, with that pre-programmed, you give it a picture and it will give you a tutorial. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Fast fashion annoys me. I have some very comfortable clothes that have lasted me for forever, but they're not like... they're lounge around the house clothes, right? And my fancy clothes, I don't wear those for too long because they wear out too fast. All right, everyone. We got one additional ring added earlier. Okay, this is coming along quite nicely, actually. And then we got 3/4 of a ring that we're working on here. So lots more rings to make. But we'll get there. What's going to happen next is I'm just going to continue working on this. I do need to stop and finish up my saddlebags, so we'll see what happens tomorrow and how I feel. I have to stand to weave the saddlebag lacing through the chainmail and the saddlebag, and it's a pain in the butt, so that's probably the largest reason I've been putting it off, is because it's uncomfortable to stand there and lace this crap together, and you're hunched over, and it's exhausting. Anyway, it's a whole thing. But yeah, we got lots of big projects to work on. Only a couple small projects at this point, so getting a lot of the basement projects done and out of the way. I'm pretty happy about that. One of the many reasons you sew, yeah. Sewing's great, just because, again, one of those things you can just make whatever you want with it. It's awesome. If anyone here is looking at what I'm doing and going, hey, that's cool, I would like to learn how to make chainmail, please go to the link in my link tree for those on TikTok, or the link to the Mailworks app on the Mailworks homepage, and download the Mailworks app. It's got all the resources I would have wanted when I first got started making chainmail a really long time ago, back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. It's got where to find tutorials, where to find suppliers, where to find where other people hang out and make chainmail. And if you're interested, it's a great place to start. If you have any questions, I am usually here 8:30 to 10 o'clock Central Standard Time as many nights of the week as I can get down here and stream. So if you download the app and have a question, or if you have a question in regard to chainmail, I will be back on as much as I can. I do have family, and I do have family stuff I got to do and whatnot, but I'm usually down here 4 nights out of 7. Okay? If you want to see me continue to make this stuff online and help me spread the good word of chainmail, you can help me out by going to mailworks.com. It's my store where I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. And that helps keep me going and helps fund projects like giant Ringception jelly cubes. It'll look more like a cube when we add more rings. So please go to mailworks.com, get yourself something nice, and that'll help me in my goal to make cool stuff and show people. And with that, it is 10 o'clock. I do have some stuff I got to do before bed. Tomorrow's a school day. Got to make sure everything's buttoned up tight. Excuse me. And I've been up since 5:30 this morning just because my body said it was time to get up, I guess. And when I went to go take a nap today, my kid wouldn't stop yelling at his video game. And I don't beat him. I don't, but it is tempting from time to time. So you all have a wonderful evening. I appreciate y'all being here. I'll be back on hopefully tomorrow night or later on in the week. All right. Come back and say hi. You all. Bye.